680's Richard Southern joins us now. And Richard, some good news. The GoFundMe for the Humboldt Broncos has closed after bringing in a record amount of money.
Yeah, it says a lot about Canadians, for sure, Amanda. So that GoFundMe page closing up now after raising, get this, $15,185,000. It began with a goal of raising just $5 grand. This is now the second largest GoFundMe ever, second only to the $21 million raised by the Time's Up Legal Defense Fund. The Humboldt Broncos Board of Directors has taken over this GoFundMe campaign, and what they're going to do is set up a committee to make recommendations about where the money should go. Until that point, the cash is being held in trust. The Broncos president said that the money raised will go towards paying for expenses for the victims' families, though he said it's too soon for a specific breakdown of where the funds will be allocated. But more than $15 million, it's quite something, Amanda.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, here's another one. CP rail workers are close to walking off the job, and it could mean big delays for train travelers and perhaps higher prices in stores.
Yeah, it could. So about 3,400 CP rail workers could be on strike by the end of the day Friday. And a strike could make VIA passenger traffic slower because those VIA trains, they run on CP rail track. The stoppage, work stoppage, if it happens, would also come at the wrong time for Western Canadian oil producers because they're getting a much better price for their oil now than they have in many months. Farmers may run short on cash because they can't get their crops to market, and depending on how long the strike stretches on, it could make some items on store shelves more expensive because a lot of what we buy, Amanda, travels via train at some point or another, and if there is a strike, it looks like it could go on a while. The head of the railroad says he won't be held hostage by negotiations, and he says a little bit of short-term pain he's willing to take in order for long-term gain. So it looks like the management is digging in its heels here.
Wow, and you mentioned via rail passengers. Now let's talk about drivers. Oil is at its highest price in years, and it's making gasoline even more expensive.
It is. There's talk that Saudi Arabia wants to see $100 per barrel oil now, and they can make that happen by reducing production levels if they want. There's also talk of more sanctions on Russia, so that has had the price trading at a 3.5-year high. Oil reversed course a little bit towards the end of the day, down 18 cents, but still at levels we haven't seen in years. As for the price of gasoline, yes, we're going up again tonight. Another penny, but that'll bring us to $1.35.9. It's not cheap at the gas pumps these days, Amanda, and it looks like it could slowly get more expensive as we move through April and into May.
Wow, and how's this for a connection? It's not the Oilers playing tonight. The Leafs are trying to even their playoff series at the ACC tonight, and we know tickets aren't cheap, but they're not the only part of the price. And you're looking into what it costs for you and me to see the game tonight?
I thought, why don't we go take in the game tonight, right, Amanda?
Why not?
Playoff game. Let's see what it would cost exactly. So first off, tickets. So standing room, $246 each. Nosebleed seats, $303. Row 1 platinums right against the glass, $2,200 each. Got to have something to eat and drink, right, Amanda? A beer at the ACC, $11.50. Gourmet hot dog, $10.75. What about parking? $36 at Maple Leaf Square, and then maybe dinner and a beer after the game at Real Sports, about $45 for that. So all told, $776 for two in the cheap seats, $4,700 in the expensive seats. Wow. Amanda, we might have to watch that on TV instead.
I would think so, even though, do they do 50-50 at Leafs game? Because that would just, cover all the costs, right, if you want?
If you're lucky enough to come up with it, yeah, maybe. That's it's a long shot.
All right, perfect. Well, Amazon reveals that it's signed up a staggering number of paid Prime subscribers.
Yeah, they say they have 100 million Amazon paid subscribers, the first time they've released this number. It launched 13 years ago. It's their subscription membership program and includes perks like free shipping, music and video streaming. Prime now has more members than Costco, which is quite something when you think of that, and the news had Amazon stock heading higher today, Amanda.
And have you heard this one? Maybe someone you live with, a friend, calling out the name Alexa around the house because, speaking of Amazon, it'll now let you customize its Alexa home assistant. Is that a different name, a different tone?
Right, so you can actually program it to answer specific questions, so you can sort of prank your friends. There's some practical applications, too, because you could maybe leave a message for, say, the babysitter. So you can have it maybe compliment you. And I thought, why don't we have my Alexa pump our tires, Amanda, compliment us? So I programmed it. Let's have a look. Computer, who's the most skilled broadcaster in Toronto?
Obviously, it's Francis D'Souza.
Whoa. All right, one more. Computer, how good do I look on City News tonight?
Richard, Let's just say you truly have a face for radio.
What? I don't know what happened. They went rogue on me, Amanda.
It's computers are taking over the universe.
Francis must have hacked into that or something. I don't know.
I saw him screaming to Alexis just before the show.
I apologize for that. I'm sorry.
There you go. Thank you so much for that, Richard. Now let's go over to Cynthia Mulligan.